Hello and welcome again to Super Sound Showcase. My name is Tim. We are here today with Sandra Layman.
Hi.
Mhm. And Cole, her son, right?
That's right.
All right. And you guys are actually doing something a little bit interesting. So, from what I know, you participate and also teach drum circles and vibration healing.
Sound wellness.
Sound wellness.
Sound wellness, yeah. Yeah, so it's really exciting, actually, that the College of William & Mary, which is this amazing educational institution, is offering these integrated wellness programs to their students. The programs are a bridge between the liberal arts program and wellness, and it just speaks volumes to where we are headed as a culture, that our future leaders of the world, really, these College of William & Mary students, are being armed with skills, not only for self-wellness, but to share and with others. You know, it's very, very exciting. I'm feeling a big shift in our culture with more acceptance of these holistic practices, and it's really special.
Yeah. I tell you what, anytime you can put a little bit more happiness or kindness into the world, it's a good thing.
Yeah. And there's a huge academic component to it as well. So it's not just the experiential practices of drum circles and sound immersions that the class is learning and participating in. They're also learning the history and the sociocultural background of where the healing instruments came from and how they've been used in ritual and celebration, religion, healing, and wellness throughout history. And in that particular class, my students are exposed to drum circles and sound immersions and meditation techniques and all things sound and wellness. So
Okay. Yeah. Well, so tell me a little bit more about sound immersion and what the process is, or what does that entail?
Okay, so a sound immersion is a lot different than a concert. So with the sound immersion, participants come to the immersion and they typically will find a relaxing position. Oftentimes it's lying on their back in what's called shavasana, or corpse pose. So just lying comfortably on their back with blankets and bolsters. And then my son and I, in this particular case, I'm talking about the sound immersions that my son and I offer at Studio South here in Williamsburg on Tuesday evenings. And we play a variety of healing sounds and healing instruments, and the participants receive. And it's quite a meditative experience, but different from performance, because it's not about us. It's not about our musical chops per se. It's more about sharing the sounds and creating a safe space for those who are in attendance to let go and relax. Yeah.
And kind of heal?
It can be very healing, yes. I think at the center of everything we do is intention, and different people come for different reasons, and whatever intention you set for being there, that's what is going to manifest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah. You also have a couple different interesting instruments around here.
Yeah. So we just brought a little sampling. We have lots more that we bring to our immersion. I couldn't fit my big gong in this room, so I opted not to bring that. But this is a crystal singing bowl. I have a large set. This particular singing bowl is in the key of F sharp, so that aligns with the heart chakra, which is an energy center, which can be very healing. It also just sounds really nice, and it's very relaxing. Crystal singing bowls are kind of the new kids on the block with healing instruments. Tibetan singing bowls have been around for centuries. Monks used to use them for meditation, and now you're seeing all kinds of different variations of that.
Sure.
Yeah. This right here is a Native American flute, tuned to 432 hertz, which is known as earth tone tuning. And it's supposed to be more expansive. than the typical concert tuning. It's got a lovely sound.
And by expansive?
Less constrictive, I guess you could say. I don't. It's a very involved topic, but if you evidently, to my knowledge, or from what I have researched, is that the concert tuning came around back in Hitler's reign. And yeah, and so I guess it kind of makes sense that if all concert tuning is at a certain level, 432, it's just a different feel is the best way that I can explain it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess my next question is how did you get involved in all of this? Because it seems like a very specific, very kind of non-traditional isn't the word I'm looking for, but it seems very mind-altering, very expansive in that it's not your typical run-of-the-mill sounds you're going for.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
right. You're absolutely right, and that is very true in the West, but nothing that I play or nothing that we do is new. I mean, a lot of these instruments and methods have been used for centuries by different cultures,
Mm-hmm.
and we explore that also in my class at the college. We do this sociocultural exploration of the roots of sound and the history of how sound is used in healing, meditation, ritual, rites of passage, celebration, and a lot of the instruments are used for those reasons in various cultures.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And and you asked how I got into it, and it's really interesting because I was called to the drum as a young girl, and it's something that has always been a part of my life. I played drums in elementary school band. I played drums in high school. I was in punk rock bands, and then later in a blues band with my very own children for a short while, and always shared music with my children. But it's been a lifelong process of kind of trying to figure out what that music and what that sound, like why is it so magical? What is calling me to it? And then through, I was a special education teacher for almost 2 decades, and I would use drums in my classroom to teach blending of phonemes on the bongos. I found that my children with autism in my classroom who maybe lacked the confidence to answer questions, if I gave them an egg shaker, just having that egg shaker to shake while they made vocalizations just gave them, it's like a friend, like holding their hand.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very powerful. And then I used it. I started to facilitate drum circles, and I used drums in my classroom for social skills lessons and sitting in a circle, and we would drum the ABCs, and we would do eye contact lessons and lots of games that used rhythm as the connector.
Mm-hmm.
Fast forward, then later I've done yoga also my whole life, and later became a yoga teacher and discovered Nada yoga, or Nod, which is sound, divine sound. And that led me down another path to explore what that's all about. And that's where I discovered mantra and chanting and the Nod sounds, which are actually the inside sounds of the inner sounds of the universe, if you will. Like Om is the universal sound of peace. It's supposed to be the sound of all. There's all kinds of biblical implications in every religion where sound is likened to creation.
Really?
Even in the Bible, first there was the Word, and the Word was God. So it's saying God is Word. Word is God.
Mm-hmm.
But if you dig really deep, you find that throughout lots of cultures.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
That's
religions.
fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you mentioned that you also teach the class, right?
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Is that open to the public, or is it something that you have to register for? Because, it sounds fascinating.
Yeah. So it's for Layman Mary students only
Mm-hmm.
at this point. But I do lots of workshops in the community, and I take a lot of what I do in my class outside of the class.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be teaching a workshop about the chakras and and at the recreation center in March, and I do sound immersions at Studio South, and I teach yoga classes at a couple of different spots. I teach at Paddle on Williamsburg in the summertime, so we take drumming and sound immersions out on the water, which is really fun, and it's a whole new experience because then nature joins us. And I kid you not, like when you're drumming on the water and everybody's playing together, suddenly all of the crickets stop, the birds stop, and then if we do it long enough, all of nature kind of comes in rhythm with us. It's fascinating.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Yeah, I've never, at least personally, I've never played music on a boat.
Yeah.
But no, it sounds great. That's really cool.
And these are paddle boards, so it's, you got the fun factor on top of it. So.
Knowing me, I'd be up with an acoustic guitar just falling over. Well, all right. Well, very cool. So if anybody had any other questions or anything that they'd like to ask you personally, or if they were interested in sort of getting more involved in the music that you guys are going to play, how can they get in touch with you, or how would somebody go about doing that?
Well, I have I have a website. It's called Layman Wellness, and that's spelled Layman. So it's laymanwellness.com, and there's a calendar page, and I try to keep that updated with workshops I'm teaching, events. It's got my weekly yoga teaching schedule as well, and our drum circles we post there. We have community drum circles from time to time. We've done them at Billsburg Brewery. We're talking about bringing back a monthly circle there in the spring, perhaps. We'll be at Second Sundays in April, which I love that opportunity. Shirley Vermillion had us, my class led and facilitated a drum circle, my William & Mary students, and it was just such a neat experience for them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So when we get back, we will have Sandy and we will have Cole play some music for us.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, and welcome back to Super Sound Showcase. Again, we have Sandra Layman here along with her son Cole. Tell us a little bit about what you're going to be playing today.
So we're going to give you a little sampling of some of the instruments and some of the techniques that we use. And we will be beginning with just a simple drum beat, which was a drum beat that the shamans used for journeying. And the drum beat has a vibration that will that can actually bring you into a theta state of consciousness for meditation. It's very relaxing, and we'll do that just for a short period of time because I know our time is limited, and then we'll just be playing some of the different instruments just to give you a little sample of what the singing bowl sounds like, and the rattles, which are also used in many cultures for breaking up blockages or for healing. We've got a Native American flute, which is actually the love flute. It was something used for Native Americans to play love songs for the people they had affection for, and also used in many different ceremonies as well. And we've got some tingshas from Tibet, and various drums and some tuning forks, which are pretty interesting. So that's a scientific tool that's used in classrooms all over the place that is a good learning tool for sound. So we'll be playing some of those as well.
All right. Well, before we get started, did you want to read something?
Sure. So this is a book called the Radiant Sutras, and this is just a lovely little poem that kind of sets the stage for the use of sound in healing and relaxation. So I'm going to ask Cole, my son Cole, to play the tempo. So bathe deeply in the ocean ocean of sound, vibrating within you now as always, resonating softly, permeating the space of the heart. The ear that is tuned by rapt listening learns to hear the song of creation, first like a handbell, and then subtler like a flute, subtler still as a stringed instrument, eventually as the buzz of a bee. Entering this current of sound, the listening one forgets the external world, becomes absorbed into internal sound, and then absorbed into vastness, like the song of the stars as they shine.
Wow, that was amazing.
I mean, that's just a little example of some of the, it's we don't plan what we're going to play or what we're going to do. We kind of feel it energetically in a situation, like a sound immersion, but that's just kind of a little example.
All right, well, you guys have one more for us?
Sure. I didn't bring my djembe, so we'll make do with the Remo buffalo drum. Just a little ditty.
Yeah, that was great. Man, thank you guys so much for coming in.
Okay, thank you so much for having us. I'm excited to share all of this with your listeners.
Absolutely, and we're excited too.
Okay.
All right, well, again, guys, this is Super Sound Showcase. My name is Tim. We are sponsored by Culture Fix, and we'll see you next week.